Well, we have to change it. I mean, 2 games ago we was, excellent against Manchester United here, and we can't allow the standards to drop as much as they have done in a short space of time. We know we've had issues with COVID, and we know we've had issues with injuries, but that performance is not acceptable if we want to be a Premier League team.
In this festive period, it's pretty tricky to stay with your mind 100% in the task and what you have to do, and I think we did it right from the beginning. We looked really sharp, committed, a real threat. We dominated the game, scored the first one, a really important second goal just before the break, and then the team wanted more, and he pushed for the third and the fourth one, and it's a big win for us.
4 wins in a row for Arsenal. It's one thing to expect them to win away games like Leeds last week and this, but another to do it, and to do it emphatically. Let's look at the goals, though. Saka, we all know Saka's left-footed.
Yeah.
We all know he's left-footed.
Well, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Homework time for Brandon Williams.
I'm not sure.
Homework time. What do you do with Saka? You show him down the line on his right foot. You don't show him inside, so that's poor defending. Great from Saka. Take nothing away from him because his footwork's exceptional, but Brandon Williams has made it easy.
Doesn't have to do too much, does he, Saka? Really?
And he nutmegs him with a finish.
Yeah.
It's very naive. Very naive. Show him down to the byline on his right foot.
Now, talk us through the first touch here. Very interesting what you two boys were saying. Tierney's first touch.
Tierney's first touch. I mean, the ball's perfect as well. It's in his strike pattern. If you watch Kieran Tierney, without even knowing, he's controlled the ball, and when he's controlled it, the ball spins, but it spins back onto his left foot, so it keeps it away from the defender. It's just very clever. He might not have done it knowing consciously, but it worked. And this is the second one as well.
Brandon Williams again. You've conceded one by not showing Saka on the byline. You do exactly the same thing, maybe a little bit of tiredness. You can see he's fuming at someone else, but that's your responsibility.
He's got him in a perfect position as well at the start of this, and then he just gives up. It's lazy again. It's lazy defending.
Brilliant from Saka, though. I mean, he's got great... he's like Raheem Sterling, and when you get him in a small area and he's nippy and he's sharp and he takes the ball away from you, he's got fantastic balance.
Smith Rowe came on. He's having to do with the place on the bench at the moment. It doesn't really seem to be affecting his mood because he comes on, he has an impact, he scores in a second. First, though, lovely little ball there.
Lovely little ball, great position from Lacazette as well. He's got himself in between the defender and the ball, and Kabak has to go through. And look at that nice little touch on the right foot, knowing full well there's going to be contact. Brilliant.
Graham Scott on the spot.
I can say without fear of contradiction, that's a penalty.
That's a penalty kick. That is a penalty kick. Lacazette scores. And then Smith Rowe, this is the third game in a row in the Premier League that he's a sub, that he's come on and scored.
Well, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, Mark, but I look at Arsenal and the way they're playing and the way they're scoring, the smile on their faces, and Aubameyang's not there. And I don't know why I think it's all because he's not there that they're playing well and they're a bit more free. Got to make sure you stay on side. A couple of tight calls. That one on the angle looks like he's off, but I think obviously VAR.
Last season might have been off.
Yeah.
But we're happy with the naked eye. Oh,
Yeah,
I know the goal doesn't matter.
But look at these boys. Look at these boys. Look, they're enjoying. And not once before that game kicked off did I ever think Norwich were going to take anything off Arsenal. I thought away win, definitely.
And you can actually see when teams like Arsenal are just finding their feet again, and Spurs are finding their feet. When they score a goal, there's always one or two that are enjoying it, but there's one or two that are organising as well. So they're actually organising while they're celebrating. Don't concede a goal, go and get another goal. You can always tell when they're enjoying each other's company.
To pick up on Don's theme, which I think is very appropriate, do you think Aubameyang will ever play for Arsenal again?
I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think Arteta has made a stance on discipline at Arsenal, and I think it's happened a couple of times now with Aubameyang. And I think they've found a way to play maybe better football, maybe a bit more freer. Other players now, because the big man's not there, they're having to stand up. Lacazette looks a little bit freer. Martinelli's doing great. Obviously, Smith Rowe's off the bench, but that's working. I can't see how he's going to make them better than what they are now.
I think if you're Arteta and the window opens next week, and if you can try and get a buyer for Aubameyang, you might have to sacrifice a massive fee. But to get 350 grand off your wage bill a week when your team's playing well and you've got all these young players, I think it's a no-brainer.
They'll be takers, though.
Or even a 6-month loan and you have to pay half the wages yourself, and I don't know, Juve or Barca pay the other half.
Your dressing room is the most important thing. And if your dressing room's good and it's healthy, you can go so far. Quality will always take you over the edge. But if you've got a healthy dressing room, and I don't really think Aubameyang's a problem inside the dressing room. I think he's well liked. I think he's loved in there. I think he's a good character. But the manager's lost that trust in him. Yeah. And the manager, at some point, you have to put your authority down, and you say to him, "There's no place for you back in my squad at the moment. Everything's going well." And when you're winning games, by the way, that job for Arteta is a lot easier.
Yeah, I think he's made his mind up.
It's when you lose, Dion, isn't it? You lose 2 on the spin. Do you then panic and bring them back in?
Correct.
So New Year's Day. So the Man City game in August, Arsenal were pummeled out of sight 5-0 and they were embarrassed. They've completely changed their back four and goalkeeper since then.
Yeah.
The game against Wolves tomorrow is off because Wolves have got so many COVID and injury issues. That's what's happening these days, and that's completely understandable. Here's the barometer for Arsenal then, for Arteta against his former club. Man City at the Emirates, and then, of course, the North London derby. And Tottenham are flying, and Arsenal, Tottenham, and Man United and West Ham are in the battle for fourth.
I think that's more of a barometer, the Tottenham game. I think obviously Man City are out of their league, but as long as you don't get smashed and you put in a performance and you see signs where they're improving, if you lost the game, it's not the end of the world, but the form that they're in, they'd be confident. Then you look to the Tottenham game, you've got, 2-week break?
Well, you've got the FA Cup and you've got the 2 legs against Liverpool in the League Cup semi-final.
Not much of a break
before then.
I was thinking
no break.
Ground.
Well, no, but what it is, of course, is rotation. That's the challenge for all of them now, isn't it? With for every club now, with games being called off because of COVID, rotation, we'll have we are having a 5 subs debate. This is the challenge for all of them.
It is, yeah. And, you know, I did radio at the weekend. I spoke to Jonathan Woodgate, who's been a manager. And I said, what's it like on the training grounds now with, injuries, I know, but with the COVID cases? He said, Dion, it's an absolute ghost town. There's nobody about at the training grounds. No. Whatever training ground you go to, there's 3 players working over there. There's maybe 2 in the gym. There's 4 on the treatment beds. Nobody's together because we can't be. So I'd imagine it's the same for the big clubs as well.
Yeah, you clean the training grounds a lot.
Correct.
And then you send people home to try and keep them in their own bubble to keep them
so it's
healthy.
difficult for them.
Absolutely.
Welcome back. Destination Carrow Road next. Arsenal looking for a 4th straight league win against bottom club Norwich City. Gunners looking to maintain their hold of 4th place in the league table. 6 minutes in, and the Gunners were already 1-0 up through Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, it was a lovely bit of pressing. Tierney recognised the moment to do it, and Saka, I love what he's done here. He's got it onto his stronger foot, but he's actually used the defenders to blindside the goalkeeper in Krul, and it's a lovely finish along the floor, and it was the great start for Arsenal.
It's been a stop-start season, really, for Kieran Tierney, but what about this for a penetrating run and finish?
Fantastic. His first touch at his feet is what obviously makes the chance really good. But he does that week in, week out for Arsenal, pushing forward, and a really good finish from him.
Bukayo Saka then got the 3rd, very similar to his first.
Very similar, and lovely footwork to be able to create the angle. And, Tim Krul will be absolutely fuming with the players in front of him, the defenders, for one to allow it to happen. But again, just so crafty in a lovely little finish into the bottom corner.
At first, I wasn't sure if it was a pen, but when you look at it from a different angle, it's clumsy from Kabak, really, really clumsy. Gets the wrong side, Lacazette gets his body in, really, really clumsy tackle. Obviously, the captain now picks himself up, really good penalty, composure, and he's been a man rejuvenated the last couple of weeks. He's been one of Arsenal's real leaders, talisman.
Yeah, and here's something we've seen quite a few times already in recent weeks. Off the bench, Emil Smith-Rowe getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, he's done it time and time again, hasn't he? He's a very exciting player. And, the dynamics when he gets the ball and goes forward, he's lovely to watch, but also getting himself in positions where he knows that there's going to get, I call it, the scrappy little bits, and he recognised the moment there. And for me, another player that I've loved, he wasn't involved in the goal himself, but his Odegaard. I've watched him against Leeds United, I watched him there today. I just think the overall play, the way he is able to create space, his touch, he, for me, playing up alongside Lacazette when he needs to, he's been absolutely unbelievable, and it was a joy to watch in the last 2 matches.
So in the end, a 5-star showing from Arsenal. Let's hear from their head coach, Mikel Arteta. Incredibly, since the whole controversy with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and since his deselection from the 11, Arsenal have gone on to score 19 goals in the last 5 games. I mean, they've taken it almost to another level, haven't they?
They have done. And listen, you have to give credit to Mikel Arteta because you live and die by that decision. It's a big, big decision to drop your talisman, your captain, and we don't know what's happened behind the scenes, but you're right. It looks like the players have kind of gone, you know what, we can do this, we believe in each other. And it looks like they're a more rounded team now. It's not about one man getting all the goals. You're seeing Saka coming with the goals. Smith-Rowe, Lacazette, as I said, he looks like all of a sudden, because he knows he's going to be playing down the middle now, more so than not, rather than worrying about where his minutes are coming from, he took that challenge on board as well. And he's playing as well as he has done in an Arsenal shirt for a long time. So you have to say, going forward from Mikel Arteta's side, they believe in what he's doing and they're playing some really good stuff.
And now the pressure's back on Aubameyang to see what is his commitment level, what is his attitude towards Arsenal. Is he going to see this and think, you know what it is? I accept it. I take responsibility. I want to be back in this team and I want to be playing and scoring the goals for this team, because without him now, they're looking like they're playing with the freedom. And you mentioned, Darren, with Lacazette getting the armband, he's looking like just a completely different player.
Yeah, and interestingly, we saw them against Leeds, where it felt like they got themselves in a terrific position, but then took their foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
Did we see them show their ruthless side today against Norwich?
I think so, because as you said, the second half against Leeds, it was a little bit, although they were always in control, they showed a little bit of a fragile side to them where they give Leeds opportunities. It was like they weren't going to let that happen today. I think the clean sheet meant a lot to them as well. They don't want to concede goals. But going forward, as I said, if they can keep this run up, keep these performances in, then they've got a really, really good chance of the top four. It's going to be difficult still, but you'd rather them have the points on the board now.
Yeah, and
that's the key.
That's the point, because Spurs and Manchester United both have games in hand.
Well,
So
they have to
all
win.
Arsenal can do is just keep winning.
Got to keep winning. And like you said, the clean sheet is huge. The goals have been questioned early on. They weren't getting enough goals. In the last 3 or 4 matches, they've been absolutely brilliant. And you can just see now, the first 3 matches of the season, they were sitting bottom of the league. Everybody was saying, "Is Arteta the man?" What a turnaround. And the style of play you've saw progress each week. As an Arsenal fan, they will be frothing at the mouth thinking, this is great football.
Interestingly, well, Arsenal's next game against Wolves on Tuesday has been postponed because of a COVID outbreak in the Wolves camp. But it means their next game is against Manchester City at the Emirates. What a game that is going to be.
Well, listen, Arsenal go into this game full of confidence. Now, we know what happens Manchester City versus Arsenal. The last few times, Manchester City have had their way with Arsenal. But you have to say that they're certainly going into this game now with a lot more confidence than they have done in previous fixtures. So who knows? Who knows?
That's the first game of 2022. What a blockbuster to get the
bring it on.
up and running. As far as Norwich City are concerned, very quickly, it's 1 win in 6, and it's no goals in the last 4. Have they kind of gone backwards since the initial uplift of the appointment of
Dean Smith gave them definitely an uplift when he came in. We saw what Steven Gerrard has done at Aston Villa as well. And Smith had that. But realistically, on paper, when you look at the squad, he still hasn't been able to change anything. What will happen in January? Will he be allowed to make some changes? We'll have to wait and see. He did give Billy Gilmour another opportunity in there, which I thought was fantastic to get a result. But again, I think what they've done with Smith, they've thought about it for next season as well when they're in the Championship, because he's proven he can get teams out of that division. And I feel for them at the moment, because I think it's going to be a battle right the way through to the end of the season.
Their only kind of saving grace is that they're not cut away yet, because teams are not winning above them. I think they're already still 3 points, 4 points from safety, so they are still in touching distance. And I think if they'd been cut adrift, you'd fear for them. I mean, I still think they're one of the favourites to go down, absolutely. But they're not a million miles away. You never know. A couple of results against people in and around them, they can find themselves out of it.
Well, Joseph, what a party.
Yeah, it was a great victory for the players, the fans, and everyone.
What do you think about your performance?
I think it was good, and each game it keeps getting better.
We need this match, no, with 3 goals.
Yeah, it was really great because we fought hard for this victory, and everyone deserved to be happy.
Bueno, es el mejor partido de la temporada en lo que va de Liga, ¿no?
No sé si el mejor, pero sí el que hemos sabido jugar con el marcador a nuestro favor, que nos estaba costando mucho, y sobre todo felices por ganar en casa, porque nos estaba costando muchísimo. Desde que hay público en el estadio solo habíamos ganado un partido de no sé cuántos, o sea que hoy el partido creo que era fundamental porque nos ponemos también a 3 puntos del Español, que es un rival directo, para alejarnos de abajo, para irnos tranquilos de vacaciones y pensar en lo que viene.
Con el partido contra el Valencia también nos ponemos por delante, pero el Chacho se quejaba, ¿no? Un poco que nos había faltado controlar el partido. Hoy es lo que tú dices, ¿no? Se ha conseguido.
Bueno, sobre todo hoy no hemos tenido errores individuales que nos pagaron contra el Valencia. Creo que es un partido para sacar conclusiones positivas. Hemos vuelto a ganar en casa, tenemos que hacernos fuertes aquí de lo que queda de temporada, porque fuera de casa sí el equipo está respondiendo bien. Y tenemos que seguir esta línea.
Cuéntame el gol, ¿no? Porque ha sido una jugada rápida, pero cuando te ha llegado ha sido como mucha pausa, las pican. ¿Cómo ha sido?
Bueno, recibo de Hugo, controlo y normalmente Diego López suele salir a tapar. Veo muchos partidos y Diego López en los 1 para 1 suele salir a tapar, entonces yo controlo y él no ve lo que voy a hacer, entonces intento picársela un poquito y cruzársela con tranquilidad.
Hugo ya tocaba, pero ahora mismo sentimos una alegría inmensa, ya no solo por el partido, sino estamos trabajando como el que más, estamos en el día a día muy sacrificados, con los pies en la tierra, con humildad, y al final somos una piña y hoy nos lo merecíamos y se lo merecía también la afición, que pues mira, no estamos ganando, no nos están saliendo los partidos en casa y aún así la afición cree en nosotros, nos apoya y nos transmite el cariño día a día. Eso te iba a decir, has dicho que sois una piña equipo, pero la afición también, hemos visto ese momento tan bonito ahí en la esquina. Sí, sabemos que le debemos mucho a esta afición, no solo de esta temporada, sino que por desgracia hemos vivido un par de temporadas muy jodidas sobre todo a nivel mental, muy difíciles de sacar, y las hemos sacado esas temporadas gracias al apoyo de ellos. En otra situación, en otro equipo, la afición lo dejaría de lado, y aquí cuanto peor iban las cosas, más estaban con uno y con el equipo. Y eso es de agradecer y se lo agradeceremos hoy, mañana y en un futuro. En lo personal, vuelves después de varias semanas que parecía que sí, pero al final no, 90 minutos con asistencia. La verdad que bueno, no estoy al 100%, pero creo que he podido ayudar al equipo. Venía de mucho tiempo parado, unos problemas que no se me daban ido. Entrenaba, tenía que volver a parar, volví a aparecer, volví a parar. Bueno, espero que ahora sea el fin de esta lesión del carajo, porque ya estoy frito, y que pueda ayudar y contribuir al equipo. Saca 2001, 2022. Por el 2022 a tope. Tenemos que seguir con los pies en la tierra, saber quiénes somos, de dónde venimos, y con esta afición, con el equipo, con el compañerismo y el sacrificio. No quiero ser pesado, pero creo que son las claves para mirar hacia adelante en un futuro.
Gracias, Hugo.
Gracias a vosotros.
Te pido